Card King, here I come. Hello, sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I am your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490 AM.com. Your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program a former Major League Baseball pitcher. He played during the 1970s for the Red Sox, the Rangers, and the Braves. I welcome in left-hander Craig Skok. Craig, great to have you. Thanks for being on.
Thank you, Brian. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, my pleasure. And, Craig, let's begin reading up on your early years. It seems baseball was in your blood. Your dad, Joe Skok, played semi-pro ball, and I read he helped you with pitching control at a young age. Is that correct?
Yes, he did. Yeah, we played catch together, and he gave me a few pointers, and it helped my control tremendously.
Yeah, and as you move forward during those early amateur baseball years, Craig, you did well in baseball during your high school years, earning a partial scholarship to junior college, and then you earned a full ride to Florida State. Talk about playing in Florida State. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. It was more like a major league team than college. And we played about a 60-game schedule, so it was a lot of baseball.
Oh, absolutely. And from what I gather, you really excelled at Florida State. And now I understand you got drafted twice during the 1967 season or year by the Red Sox and the Twins, and declined. Talk about first how the Red Sox and Twins heard about you and why you declined.
Well, I'm sure they heard about me because they send scouts down, especially when you're at Florida State. There's a lot of scouts there, but yeah, I refused to sign because what they offered me as far as a bonus goes or anything was about as much as it cost to buy a good used car back in the late 1960s.
Yeah, and so the Red Sox you declined, and then what happened? You got another offer?
Got another offer. Decided to continue with my education and didn't sign then either. So after college, after I graduated from college, I went back home to New York and was playing semi-pro ball there, not wanting to give up on my dream, but it was a kind of I'm trying to think of the words now, but
oh, take your time. This is like a phone conversation, you and me.
Yeah, I called the Red Sox up when I got back home and wondered why I didn't get drafted at my senior year in college at all by anybody. And I called the Red Sox up and said, hey, what happened? And they said to me they thought that I had been drafted, but apparently the people that were supposed to draft me didn't. And I wanted to continue my baseball career if I could, and they set up it was a tryout,
right,
with the Red Sox in Massachusetts, which was close to my home. So all that summer, which would have been probably the summer of 1969. I went back and forth to Massachusetts, pitch and batting practice to their Double-A team there, which was Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And at the very end of the summer, I was signed to a contract. No bonus, no nothing. Just show up, come to spring training, and we'll see how you do. That's how I got started in pro ball.
Wow, so it was more like a was it pitching to the minor league Red Sox, it was more of a tryout, right? Would you say?
It was a tryout, no doubt about it. Yeah.
My God. So who was the scout that really broke you in, that gave you the first break, with the Red Sox? Do you remember the scout?
I do. His name was Tony Ravish. He owned a liquor store, and he was a bird dog scout for the Red Sox.
So, I mean, when you're offered to play for the Red Sox, if you go back, I mean, that must have been an exciting time. I mean, were your parents excited for you during those years?
My father was, of course, because he played baseball. My mother was not quite so. She was not as enthusiastic as my father was about me going off to play baseball. But I wanted to pursue it, and I decided that it was time to pony up and go for it.
Absolutely. And we're talking with the former pitcher Craig Skok, who's with us on the telephone line. And Craig, I'm looking at your statistics here. So it was, I believe, 3 years for you in the Red Sox minor league system. And it began, right? It began in 71 at Double-A with Pawtucket, the Pawtucket Red Sox. A season.
It actually, excuse me, Brian, I don't mean to interrupt. My first year in pro ball was in Greenville, South Carolina, the summer of 1970.
Okay. But now 71, that's when you played for Pawtucket in Double-A, right? That was the Double-A team.
Yes, that's right.
Go ahead.
I had a pretty good year there, even though the team didn't do very well. I had a good earn run average, and I was about 9-9 or something like that. I forget exactly. But it was a good experience.
Yeah. So when you're facing and pitching to minor league batters for the first time in your career, did you find it very challenging or not? Not really.
In Greenville, I was 14-4 with a 2.3 or so earn run average. So I had a really good first year. And I think that's what propelled me to Double-A, and then from Double-A, I had another good. I had 3 good years in a row. The third one was Louisville, Kentucky, which was Triple-A, and I was 15-7 there, with an earn run average of three even.
You're right. So I'm looking at your stats. In 71 for Pawtucket, you posted a very solid ERA. I believe it was 2.61. It was amongst the best at the time for the whole season for the minor league pitchers, and that was 71. And then you're right, 72, Triple-A for Louisville, the Red Sox affiliate. I believe you led the league with 15 victories that year. Yeah,
I think so. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's that Triple-A Louisville Red Sox team, Craig. I'm noticing 2 familiar baseball names that come to mind, Dwight Evans and Cecil Cooper, two of your teammates.
Right.
How was Dwight Evans, a young Dwight Evans, as a player, and Cecil Cooper?
Well, Dwight was a major draft choice, and he received a lot of individual instruction from a guy by the name of Sam Mealy. Sam Mealy was, of course, a minor league coach. And Dwight was undisciplined at the plate. He swung at a lot of bad pitches, but he was tall. He had an arm like a cannon out in the outfield. It was obvious that he was going to make it to the big leagues.
Yeah, Dwight Evans had a cannon. He even had a cannon in the minor league, minor league team, huh?
Yes. Oh, very much so. After the first couple of months of the minor league season, nobody would try to take second base on an outfield hit.
Wow. How about Cecil Cooper? I know it goes way back, but do you remember his early playing abilities in the minor leagues? Cecil Cooper?
Yeah, Cecil was a first baseman, and he was a really, really good hitter, very good hitter. Hit from the left side.
And then, now, your first major league debut, tell me if this is correct, Craig. I'm looking at a scorecard from 73, May 4th, 1973, wow. Red Sox versus the Twins. Was that your first major league start?
I never started in the major leagues. I was a relief pitcher the whole time.
Right. But your first major league appearance on the mound.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
That was the game, right? And that was May 4th, 73, Red Sox versus Twins, a team who had the likes of Jim Cott, Oliva, and Killebrew.
Oh, yeah.
And unbelievable. So your first start in the big leagues, how did you react to that?
Nervous as heck. Very nervous. But after the first few pitches, I settled down and I was fine.
Yeah, and that game, I believe you pitched 3 innings or 3+ innings that first appearance, and so did you find the major league batters challenging?
Oh, very much so. They were much more disciplined at the plate. They knew the strike zone better than any of the minor league players that I pitched against. So it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun.
And then Craig, so then after the Red Sox, you go to Texas, right? And how did that?
Yes.
What happened there? Can you remind me and the audience?
Well,
how did that trade take place?
I was traded for Ferguson Jenkins.
Wow!
Believe it or not, and. It's funny because when Fergie went to the Red Sox, he broke his ankle covering first base on an infield ground ball. So it wasn't a very good trade for Fergie. But I was happy to go to the Rangers, really, because they didn't have a very good team, and I really thought that I was going to get a chance to pitch. Especially start. I was always a starter in the minor leagues. If you look at my stats, innings pitched and all that, I was a starter the whole time. But I never really got a chance to start in the big leagues.
Well, who made the decision for you to put you as a relief pitcher?
Well, it dates back to the Red Sox. The Red Sox decided that I did. I was a control pitcher more than I was, hard throwing lefty. I was more of a control pitcher. So they decided that, and they didn't talk to me about it. They just did it. They made me a relief pitcher.
Man, so you're playing for the Rangers, and then after the Rangers, you go to Atlanta. Now, I was a big Atlanta Brave fan in the early 80s. I was young back then, and I was a big Dale Murphy fan. Dale Murphy was great. I believe he was underrated because he played in Atlanta. How was it playing with Murph?
Murph was a great guy. Great guy, tall. And he, when he first came up, he was touted to be a catcher. I don't know if you knew that or not, but he was going to be a catcher. And he couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher with any consistency, so they put him at first base, and he had a hard time there, so they put him in the outfield, and the rest is history.
Oh, he was phenomenal. And how was Bobby? I believe Bobby Cox was the manager of the 79 Braves. Did you get along with Bobby?
Oh, yeah. Bobby was a great guy and a really good manager. And he was the one that actually gave me my best shot in the big leagues, for sure.
Wow. So if I backtrack a little bit, the trade from the Rangers to the Braves. Give us a little input. What happened there?
Well, the summer that I played in Texas, I called the Rangers up and told them not to send me a contract. I wasn't going to play because they didn't give me any kind of a chance to pitch. If you look at my stats, I think I might have had 8 or 9 innings pitched, and that's about it. And you can't sit for a month on the bench and not pitch. You got to get into games and pitch. But they had no intention of pitching me, so I told them not to send me a contract, that I wasn't going to play, and I didn't. I didn't play that next year. There's a hole in my. If you look at my stats, there's a hole in the 1976, I believe. No, 1977. I didn't play.
Right, 77 you didn't play. That year you taught school and coached football, from what I'm reading.
I did.
Is that right?
Yes, I did. In Greenville, South Carolina, yes.
Wow.
I was really proud of that, too. I coached football and never played a down of football in my life, and did real well. Our teams were like 9-1.
And Craig, if you go back to 77 when you taught school and coached football, do you remember in your mind now? Did you need to get back to the major league level? Did you need to get back to baseball, Major League Baseball, or organized ball? Was that bothering you? You needed to get back?
I wasn't ready to give it up, so I continued to keep myself in shape. I threw all along. I pitched all along. There was a catcher there at the high school level that caught me when I was, trying to keep myself in shape. And actually, I called Bobby Cox up because I had pitched against Bobby Cox in the minor leagues. He was in the Yankees organization then, and when I called him and talked to him on the phone, he said, "Where have you been? We lost track of you." Because of course I hadn't played in '77, and he said, "I was looking for some pitching. I'm new with the Braves, and I wanted to put together a pitching staff. Can you come to spring training with no guarantees, in shape, ready to pitch, and I'll give you a chance to make the ball club?" And that's what happened.
Amazing. So, 78, Skok signs as a free agent with the Braves. Now, after that season, you went to play in Venezuela and had a successful winter. I'm looking at your statistics.
Yeah, I went there to keep myself in shape for the next season because I was pretty sure I was going to be in the big leagues the next year, so I wanted to make sure that I was sharp.
Yeah, in
so
Venezuela.
I went to Caracas.
Right, 55 innings of work, you only gave up 2 runs.
Yeah, I had a really, really good season there.
I mean, how are the players in Venezuela? They must have been fabulous players.
It was almost like being in the big leagues. I'll give you an example. Licey, which was in the capital city of I forget the name of it's Caracas. They had a team that had Andre Galarraga and all kinds of really good big league players. Of course, Venezuela and the Dominican Republic were proving grounds for a lot of the big league players that came from the Latin American countries.
And then when did you decide to give up professional baseball?
Well, that was after the 1979 season. I got sent back down again, and that I didn't end my career there. I went to 1979. I went to back to Louisville and finished out the season. Had a pretty good season too in AAA. But that was pretty much it. I had made my decision that I was gonna go home.
You did, in 1980, you had a good year, 6-3 for Richmond, with an ERA of 2.93.
Right. Yep.
Yep. And then after that season, I believe you told a reporter that you were going to return to Eastleigh and just, I quote, live like a normal human being. I read that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I was pretty much travel out. Of course, big league life is 13 days on the West Coast and blah, blah, blah. So I decided that was it for me. And I kind of knew that, when I was sent down by the Braves in 79, that was it for me. I was pretty much through.
Yeah, and I have a couple of minutes left, Craig, so I want to get this in. Do you still follow the game?
Oh yeah, I still do. I follow the Braves pretty closely. Of course, I live here in town, so I go to games occasionally.
And do you keep in contact? You keep in contact with any of your former teammates?
I do. One of my best friends here in Atlanta is Darrell Cheney.
Okay.
He was an infielder for the Braves when I was there, and of course he had a real good career with Cincinnati during the big Red Machine years. So I've got a couple guys that I keep in touch with. Glenn Hubbard from that Braves team. And another guy that has passed away since, Adrian Devine, was a right-handed relief pitcher like me. I was a left-hander, but he was a right-hander. And he passed away a few years ago. So those were probably my best friends on the team.
Now, I forget. Did you play with Bruce Sutter? I forget.
Sutter was before me. No, I didn't get to play with Bruce.
You didn't get to play with Bruce.
No.
So I was going to ask you. Now, you were that pitcher during the decade of the 70s. Did you ever face like any of the Major League Hall of Fame greats that really stands out in your mind as a as a batter?
Well, yeah. When I first came up in the big leagues, you're talking about pitching against Harmon Killebrew, Tony Oliva. Those guys. I pitched against Pete Rose. Some of the greats with Philadelphia. Yeah, I got to pitch against several. Dave Winfield, several Hall of Famers.
And Craig, pitching to a phenomenal player like Pete Rose, I mean, what would you throw him? I mean, Pete Rose can hit anything. I mean,
could hit anything. So you throw the ball over the plate and let him hit it to a fielder. That's about it. You couldn't outdo him.
So if you had one memorable moment in your baseball career, when you look back, what would that moment be?
Oh, probably in 1979, I came into a game with against the Big Red Machine, and it was at the very end of the season. I pitched like 5 innings in relief and kept them from scoring. So that was probably the highlight of my baseball, big league baseball career.
And so that's definitely your highlight. And I mean, Craig, can you believe the amount Can you believe the amount of money these players make today?
No, it's mind-boggling. It really is. It's mind-boggling. And it's very hard for me to believe that these pitchers are throwing 98, 99, 100 miles an hour now. And, I never hurt my arm pitching. Of course, I didn't throw hard enough to hurt myself. But these guys are all max effort every pitch. And it's not surprising that there's a lot of elbow injuries and arm injuries, shoulder injuries from these pitchers nowadays.
Yeah, it's incredible. I have like 30 seconds left, but these pitchers don't even last. They don't even play 3-4 innings or 5. These relief pitchers like they used to do. They come in for 1 or 2 or 3 outs, and they make millions and millions of dollars. It's mind-boggling.
It is. It really is. It makes me jealous sometimes, but I'm just happy I was able to pitch in the big leagues. And to tell you the truth, it was against everything everybody told me. You don't throw hard enough. You're not tall enough. You're not this. You're not that. So I was happy to be able to make it to the big leagues.
Well, Craig, I love it. You proved them wrong. And listen, I really appreciate your time. It was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian.
My pleasure. Craig Skok, 1979, Atlanta Braves. Until next week, happy collecting to all.